Welcome to another episode of the All Tense Podcast. I'm your co-host, Josh West. With me, as always, Clay Harris. And today, Clay, we're continuing our series on LMA that we express as the equation L plus M equals A. Leadership plus management equals accountability. And in this particular episode, we're going to talk about the 5 leadership practices that everyone can follow and continue to improve upon to be a great leader. Clay, for our listeners, let's get right into it. What is the first leadership practice?
Yeah, 100%. I'm going to tell you what the first leadership practice is, but I want you to be thinking about your answers to these questions from an all or nothing approach. If you're familiar with EOS, you know that we tend to try to make things pretty black or white. You know, it's either 100% or it's not, right? It's not 80% or 40%. When Josh and I go back and forth on these 5 leadership practices, I want you to think in your head about your team. And I want you to be really kind of clear that I want you to be able to say yes on all of these. If you're kind of doing a little self-assessment, which as most people who care a lot about their teams are doing, we're kind of always questioning whether or not we're doing all the right things. So think about, can you answer yes for all of the people that work for you? Anyway, the first leadership practice that I want you to think about while you're driving or listening to this is, are you giving clear direction? I'm not talking about like step 1 is this, step 2 is this, step 3 is this. When I say giving clear direction, I'm talking about where the company is headed. You're creating the opening for people to see how their work creates the future, how their work turns into a great vision for the company. That vision creates the opportunity for them to fill it. Nature abhors a vacuum. People will want to step in to fill that hole, to create that vision. And the tool that we use in EOS to do that is the Vision Traction Organizer. We call it the VTO all of the time. You'll hear us say that throughout the podcast, but VTO is the tool that we use to create a compelling vision of the future. So that's number 1. You're giving clear direction. Josh, number 2?
Fantastic. When you think about all of your direct reports, are you providing the necessary tools for them? So, we've got all these people working with us. They've got roles. There's expectations there, but have we given them the resources, the training, the technology, the people on their team, and perhaps most valuable, our time and attention to them as well? Are we providing all those necessary tools and truly empowering them and setting them up for success? We can't ask somebody to go chop down trees and then not give them a chainsaw. Okay? So do they have everything they need? Are their goals truly attainable? And so part of your job as a leader is to make sure that they're set up for success. So if you have 5, 6 people reporting to you, can you answer that you truly have done that for every single one of them? And if so, great, it's a yes. But if not, that's a no for you. And hopefully you can see a path to being able to correct that. Clay, number 3.
Number 3, you've created a clear vision. That's number 1. You're giving them the necessary tools. That's number 2. Number 3, you're letting go of the vine. That's an EOS kind of thing that we say all the time. Also, letting go of the vine simply means you're going to let them do it. You've created the opening. You've given them the tools. Then you have to actually let them, right? You can't kind of give them the vision, give them the tools, and then be like, oh, I think I'll still do that, right? You're wasting a bunch of time if you don't actually do it. 2 things that we think about in EOS. The first one is delegate and elevate. Make sure that your roles and functions within the company are clear so that when you say, I'm handing you this accountability, people know that it's theirs. So you're giving it to them. And the other part is that you're giving it to someone who really gets, wants, and has the capacity to do the job, right? And so GWC, another EOS term, but when you decide to let go of the vine, you better clearly articulate that you're letting go of it and you're handing it to someone that gets, wants, and has the capacity to do the work. So that's number 3. Josh, number 4.
I act with the greater good in mind. And so when we talked about that compelling vision, Clay, you referenced the VTO, and certainly we have an entire series on the pod about all of the different aspects on the Vision Traction Organizer. And, really every word of that VTO does represent the greater good of the organization. So, do you walk the talk as a leader? Are all of your actions and decisions in pursuit of the company's needs, subjugating your own individual needs and the other individual needs for the greater good of the organization overall? And so, certainly, if you say one thing and do another, that's not being a great leader. And I trust that a lot of your staff has put you under a microscope, for better or worse. And so when you are in a leadership position, know that everybody's clocking your moves. And so, you've got to make sure that, you're always aligned with that greater good. And, would all of your direct reports say that you are? And
Yeah,
so that's part of the pursuit of being a great leader.
good callback on the black or white, yes or no. Everybody, or if it's not everybody, it's a no. And that brings us to the fifth one, which I think this is the one that maybe might be the least kind of like, oh yeah, of course. So just to recap where we started on the 5 leadership practices. The first one was, are you giving clear direction? The second one, are you providing the necessary tools? The third, are you letting go of the vine? The fourth, are you acting with the greater good in mind? And the fifth one is kind of meta, right? But the fifth one is, are you taking clarity breaks? As a leader, when you're setting a vision, you're making sure everybody has the resources, tools, time that they need. You've let go, you've delegated it correctly. You're acting with the greater good. So that's a lot, right? Like, especially in an organization that like is dynamic as well. People are dynamic, organizations are dynamic. When you're taking clarity breaks, are you taking the time as a leader to find peace and quiet, to find a place? If you remember back to when you started the business, it was just you in front of your computer, or if it was me, it was just you sitting down at a desk with a piece of pen. You had a bunch of time to do a bunch of thinking. There weren't many clients to serve, or there weren't many employees to talk about. There was just a bunch of time to think. You need to figure out a way to replicate that process as your company grows, as the world is changing around you. You still need to find time to take clarity breaks where you're just taking a piece of paper and a pen, thinking on the business. I don't have any prompts for you to write on the paper. I just want a blank piece of paper, your hand, your brain, a quiet space, taking some time to just think about the business. And I promise you, if you do that for any significant amount of time, 30 minutes to an hour at least, by the time you're done, that paper will be full of great ideas. Partially, you want to capture those ideas. Partially, you want to kind of protect your confidence, right? As a leader, you're hearing all sorts of crazy things that are happening in the business, and we don't often take time to kind of zoom out a little bit and be like, oh, this is working, or I could do this a little bit differently. It kind of always just feels like you're, juggling knives. So I want to give you a break from that. So the fifth leadership ability is, are you taking clarity breaks? And my guess would be that a lot of listeners, Josh, might have said yes to 1, 2, maybe 3. I think most people probably say 4. We want to be really kind of self-critical if we can. But my guess is that a lot of people say no to number 5. And I think they all just go together. There's not one that's more important than the other. Kind of got to be doing all of them to be a great leader. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I agree with you. The concept of the clarity break is one that may be new to a lot of listeners. Maybe you go for a windy walk and you think about things, and, some people may think about it in that way. As you talked about it, I think certainly having that blank pad of paper and a pen is critical. You really do need to be writing these things down in order to get clarity and be able to call back to them And I'll leave our listeners with a nugget about the clarity break in that please don't do it at your desk. Don't even do it in your office. Really separate yourself from that environment. And as you said, a quiet space. But, even if you close the door to your office, for me, that one doesn't qualify. Really get away from the noise of the business and certainly where a lot of you're working in the business happens so that you can rise above it and work on it and get that clarity. How about you, Clay?
I think that nugget for me is just this idea that we often kind of trick ourselves. I was just talking to somebody else about this morning. We kind of trick ourselves that like, oh, well, like I got 6 people that work for me and 3 of them I'm killing it. And those other 3 I'm not. I want us to be, as leaders, we have to be holding up the mirror. And the way that we do that, the kind of little device that we use is like, it's either all yeses or it's a no. And I think that's a really powerful nugget to think about. If you truly care about getting better, which we said was a prerequisite to be a great leader, then you got to be a great leader for your whole team, not just the ones that you like the best. Right. And I think that's a little nugget that I think is pretty powerful when it comes to the 5 leadership practices.
Fantastic. Totally agree. Take them home, Clay.
That's the All Tens podcast for today. We're so happy that you listened to us. Again, my name is Clay. His name is Josh. I'm in North Carolina. He's in Arizona. It's 28 degrees here today, Josh. What's the temperature in lovely Scottsdale, Arizona?
Hold on a moment.
It's probably sunny. A few clouds in the sky and...
It's sunny. It's 68 degrees right now.
Okay. Well, whatever. All right. Well, so that's...
high later today will be 78. Love you, Clay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go put on a coat. Anyway, we're so happy that you listened today. Please like and rate and share. Comment if you can on our LinkedIn page. We'd love to hear from you. We love having guests. We love having topic ideas from you. And so if you have anything percolating in your brain right now, please share it with us. But until next time, we're so happy you listened. Thank you so much. Bye, Joshy.
Bye, Clay.